Here's another explanation video of how I have my most recent patch set up here. I'll start with this one's much more, it's got one little bass line, and then the rest of this modulation is all for the main synth lead. The first thing I should point out, I'll start from the simplest stuff to the more complicated main voice as I go. I'm using the MiniLab 2S. I have my MiniLab connected in here as well, and I'll show how that's set up, and then we'll talk through all this. So the easiest thing is first getting my MiniLab to control the main thing, and for that I have a simple patch opened up here in VCV Rack where I just have MIDI to CV from my MiniLab connected straight over to my Mini Brute, the volts per octave, gate velocity, and pitch wheel. All sent over there. Didn't end up using the velocity or the pitch wheel at all in this. I actually have the velocity stuff tracked over as my other things, but it's there just so I can have that as a patch that I just regularly can pull up easily. So that's all that's happening in VCV Rack. Everything else is right here. The bass line is pretty straightforward. I have it set up here on this mod 1 track, which I have set to pitch. It's across 2 pages, but just have a simple little melody pitched in here, and then the second page, something like that. Pretty straightforward melody. The pitch for that then is being sent to oscillator 2. In this mess of cables here, and then oscillator 2, just to give a little bit of interestingness to the sound, the output from oscillator 2 is being sent into the triangle wave in, and then through the metalizer, which then gets sent out into the main output, which I have unplugged right now so that we don't always hear it, but this is what it sounds like here through the metalizer. To tweak that then, I have LFO2 set to free time in a pretty simple, I don't remember what kind of wave I had set up on the thing, but LFO2 then is controlling the amount of metal modulation of that voice. So that's the basic bass line, and then everything else that's crazily patched in here is all about controlling this main voice here. That I have going with the sawtooth square wave, as well as with plats, and just a touch of white noise coming in through there as well. So the main thing about this patch is that I'm using the AD envelope to give a big change to the sound over time. Let me pull out plats and the wet noise here to just hear a little more basic thing of just this, so you can hear the vibrato that gets added as you hold a note. So short notes are just held normally, but if you hold it, it adds a vibrato that comes in with the AD envelope. So the way I did that is I took the ADSR and made that in charge of the amplitude of, or made that in charge of the amp as well, so that my AD envelope was free to run other things. Then took out of the AD envelope and sent it through my passive mult to be sent to a whole bunch of places. So it's not just that vibrato that gets added in as we go through it. So out of the ADSR, or out of the AD, is sent to 4 different places. It's sent to the ultrasaw modulation. It's sent to the pulse width modulation. It's sent to the timbre modulation that I have turned up quite a bit on plats, and then it's sent over to the CV input of this VCA, and this VCA is what's actually adding in my vibrato. So I have LFO1 coming into the input of here. My CV then is my AD envelope. So it's turning up the volume on the vibrato But then also I have, let's see here. I actually have that, how am I working this? No, yeah, that's just it. Oh yeah, because I've got this knob over here. That's my other attenuation to control how much that vibrato is controlling it. So again, the AD envelope is turning up how much LFO1 is controlling the FM. So frequency modulation. So that's going into the main frequency modulation knob up there. So this is controlling how much vibrato there is. And if I turn that up, it gets to be crazy amounts of vibrato. That doesn't sound good anymore. So the AD turns up how much that vibrato happens. So other interesting things I have going on is I took the sawtooth wave out, sent it through this attenuator to send that into the linear FM just to give a little interestingness to the sound as well. And I can control how much of that happens here. But you also have to make sure you plug in a dummy cord into the cutoff, because otherwise that will also affect the cutoff point of the filter. So that does interesting things like this. If I, let me take out Platts. I kind of just left it there at that point. So Platts then is pretty straightforward as well. Just coming out of my volts per octave of my keyboard here into the volts per octave input there. I happen to be using the aux out. I just like the sound of that one better. And then that comes into my external in here. One interesting thing that I did tune in with this AD envelope modulating my timbre, you'll notice that I have it set so that it brings it up to the full octave when it's fully engaged. So listen to this on this is just Platt's voice here. So that overtone goes all the way up to the octave because I have, and that's tuned with that modulation amount there. So, and that's pretty much everything, all that put together. And then I'll just plug in my baseline drone back in. Oh, I missed the tonic. Oh well. So there you go. A little different than my other patches, but a little more of a controlling this synth voice and. So I hope you enjoyed.